welcome back to another SUPboarder review, and this week we're going to be looking at a Naish Quest 9.6 in an Alana construction, which is the pink and purple graphics. This board is basically a slightly wider all-round surfboard. This is a 2017, the 2018 is virtually the same shape as this but different graphics. The specifications for this board, 9.6 long, 32 inches wide, it's 5 inches thick, so it's got a bit of thickness there, 170 litres in volume, it weighs 11.5 kilograms and it retails at £1,229. Comes as standard with a 2+1 fin setup, and the materials of the board, it has an EPS foam centre core with a glass matrix top and bottom coat, finished off with a UV stable scratch resistant top sheet. Moving on to our SUPboarder impressions and away from the catalogue bump, the board straight away is probably one of the coolest graphics in the 2017, and I think the 2018 range coming out looks equally as cool. The purple graphics with the flowery leaf patterns all over the board, top and bottom, really do look absolutely outstanding. Bear in mind, this board up at the nose area, we have put wax on the front of this board, so if you can see a little bit in the camera, because it has been waxed. Big things to stand out on this board, probably one of the super softest, comfiest EVA deck pads we have seen on a board ever. Big check deck grip, very soft, very comfy and really grippy. It's got your stuff you'd expect on your Naish things, like your deep recessed carry handle, which is really comfy and easy to carry, and a nice little kicker at the end of the EVA deck pad as well. When you feel the rails of the board, actually you will feel that the paint is actually higher than the graphics. What I mean is by that is that the rails have an extra layer of paint to reduce the chips and scratches on the side of the rails. It's a nice thing that Naish have done here. You can feel that when you easily move your hands up and down the side of the board. Looking at the shape of the board, fin setup and how it performs on the water. The Naish 9.6 Quest has a good general outline, as you can see, with a slightly wider body in the center there, being 32 inches, which is going to give you the extra bit of width to help you stand on the board, and definitely if you're getting into SUP surfing, that sort of thing you're going to be looking for. A bit wider towards the tail, not huge amount of width, but still a bit of width there, and ending with a sort of mini bat tail. It's pretty much almost a square tail, but it is actually a bat tail at the back of the board. Again, that area there will give you a lot more stability when you're paddling into the waves the first time, making it easy to stand on and easy to catch those waves. Still up at the nose, if you sort of come 2 feet back, you've still got a large amount of width up there. Again, that width at the nose will really help you stand in the board in choppier waters, or if you're not used to SUP surfing, and getting you over the waves to catching your first waves. So it's 170 litres. That is a lot of volume in a board this size and width. Many other boards of sort of similar things on the market are around the 140, maybe 150 litres. The reason they can pack this in is because they have 5 inches of thickness on the rails, so it does make the board very floaty and easy again to stand on because of the volume. The thickness of the rails, when you have a thicker rail, you find that the board isn't such a direct feel, it's not so aggressive, it's a bit more slow and drawn out, and generally when you start to get in SUP surfing, if you're a lighter rider, that's absolutely fine. You're going to find it's very smooth and turny but not really aggressive. Unless you're a heavier rider, you'll be able to plant the rail, really get the board to turn in a way more of aggressive manner if you're a heavier rider. But still, having the thickness at the back of the board again makes it very easy to stand on and stable and do your step back turns to get you in the position to catch you some good waves. Turning the board over, you really get to see the outstanding Naish Alana graphic on here. Personally, as a guy, I'm completely happy to ride this. I know some of you wouldn't be, but also for the girls, it's an absolutely outstanding looking board. You get a lot of comments when you walk down the beach, especially from the female paddlers out there. They're like, what is that? That is a good looking board. So really like the graphics. Let's look at the board shape then. The rocker line in general isn't really aggressive. It has a nice amount of nose kick to a bit of a mid flat section here and a small amount of tail kick. What that means is it's not designed for the full-on steep critical section turns or fast pocket sort of wave surfing. And if you don't know what that means, then this board is probably for you. Basically, it's a more of a sedate, easier all-round wave board. The shape of the underneath of the board is pretty much what you want to get into SUP surfing. You have a very small single concave at the front, which is where the bottom of the board is recessed, so the water's coming up and being trapped in this section. Then as the water flows back down to the midsection, you have a small single V starting to occur, which is where basically the sides of the boards are coming off and the center is at the highest point. And then moving back again, The V, a little bit more accentuated right here. You can see I'm moving that edge up and down, it's rocking back and forth. So that is the water's being cut at the front, it's moving back, and the water is shedding off, making it a very smooth ride, especially if the wave is choppier. It parts the water either side, and also when you're doing your turns from rail to rail, the water has a direction to go in. That's what the V at the back here is designed for when you're turning, making it easy to use and easy to ride on the wave in general. The fin setup this board comes with is absolutely ideal for the female riders or the lighter riders wanting to get into SUP surfing. The reason we're saying that is because it's got two slightly smaller side fins in general. These are 10cm side fins. Usually you'd probably be around a 12cm side fin. So the side fins are a little bit smaller, and the center fin as well. Instead of it being a great big 10-inch or something like that, it's a 7-inch center fin. It makes it a little bit smaller. What that does, if you're a lighter rider or somebody who's not so aggressive on the back of the board, it is easier to pivot the board around in the top turn, particularly to get the board to turn. A bigger fin would suit a bigger, heavier rider, so if you're going to use as a heavier rider, maybe upgrade that US box to a slightly bigger fin, maybe a 9-inch or something like that. But for a general all-round rider, definitely, let's say this is designed for a lighter riders or female rider, because of the graphics, even though I love it, this fin setup is absolutely perfect for you, so you will not need to change that. Still having that US center box fin and makes it nice and easy to track and paddle it in a straight line when you want to catch those waves. So on a wave, the board doesn't do anything particularly flashy, but remember, this is a general get into SUP surfing wider body SUP. Very easy to paddle onto the wave, has good amount of tracking so it doesn't veer off from side to side. On a wave, it doesn't catch you out, there isn't anything particular that you can look out for. It's very easy and smooth to ride, but as I said, it's not super aggressive, but it is going to be there for you. You're going to be able to do your top turns, cutbacks, floaters, all the maneuvers you're going to want to do and start learning to get into SUP surfing, but it's not going to be the full-on critical section surfing as some boards would be. So who do we think this board will be best suited for weight, ability and usage? Well, definitely it's going to be a SUP surfer, or maybe you're not even a SUP surfer yet. It's somebody who's getting into SUP surfing and they weigh maybe, you can be quite light, 55, no, let's say 60 kg up to about the sort of 75, 80 kg, that sort of beginner SUP surfing bracket. It's going to be very easy for you to catch some waves, easy for you to ride up and down, learn your turns, and is very forgiving for that. Otherwise, if you're a better rider, let's say, but you're in a heavier range, let's say you're from the 80 up to sort of 95 kilograms, maybe even 100, you're going to get a lot more out of this board if you are already a SUP surfer. You're at that sort of intermediate level. In that sense, because you've got a bit more weight to push down the rails, you're going to get a bit more out of the board, and it's going to be quite fun in a wide range of waves and types. It's not going to want to go in the full-on steep fast surf. Generally much better in the sort of slackier, slightly mushier sort of waves. Pretty much most of the waves we're all surfing, to be honest, maybe at around the sort of head high. So to conclude, what are our pros and cons, and is this board value for money? Pros, the board is a funky looking board that's outstandingly well made, and it's got all the Naish stuff and the branding you'd expect with the board, and it's very stable to stand on and very easy to surf. So the cons of the board, well, it's not the lightest of boards, which does make the paddling in glide, catching the wave, a little bit slower than other boards on the market. And value for money, well, it sits at a good competitive price that will make it value for money. Definitely not the cheapest board in the market, but definitely not the most expensive board either. Well, it's not going to be a 5-star board like the Naish Nalu longboard we tested. We're going to sit this in at 4 stars, a very well made, good looking board that's going to suit an all-round paddler wanting to get into SUP surfing. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you found that board review interesting and informative. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and for more independent SUP goodness, check out SUPboarder Mag and also SUPboarder Pro. See you next time.